Oh no, I'm like so zoned out right now.
Welcome back, Tim, and welcome everyone who's tuning in today. If these walls could talk, I am Wendy Stuart, and the one and only.
I am Tym Moss. Yay!
Really good to see you. Tim has been hither, dither, and yonder.
I've been yonder, and I'm back.
It's so good to see you, and I'm so excited that you have your shirt on, because that means you did not lose your shirt in Las Vegas.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just got back from Vegas a couple of nights ago, and I'm still kind of jet lagged. That's why I'm kind of like,
you know what I call it, Tim? I call it jet hagged.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And you were in Boise, and you were on our friend Roger's show.
Yes, Roger Gardner out in Boise. I got to meet him. It was wonderful. We had so much fun. Ike and I took 50 Shades of Gay out there, and Riley Burroughs was our drag queen. It was so much fun.
Oh my God, how great.
Yeah, and the name of the place that we performed it at was the Lounge at the End of the Universe. It was fabulous.
What, and was it at the end of the universe? I love that.
It was right on the edge, and I love it. But it was we did 3 nights there. How it usually goes is the first night, but for Thursday night it was crowded. We had a good crowd. And then Friday night was a little bigger, and it was sold out on Saturday. So once word gets out,
you know what they say, if you can play in Boise, you can play anywhere.
I always wanted to say, boys, they loved us in Boise.
I wrote they love the boys, BOYZ in Boise.
Actually, we got corrected. We were corrected first day we got there. It's not Boise, it's Boise.
Boise.
So we put that in the show. We both came out and said, hello, Boise. I said that right because I've been practicing. Boise.
You know what? You live and you learn, and I learn something every day. Well, while you were in Boise and Las Vegas, I was at Otto Shrunken Head and Evan Lawrence's fabulous show. We had so many wonderful performers, and of course, Jack Tracy was a new face in the show and just fabulous. And you know what? We get to live out our dreams on stage, ladies and gentlemen. I always wanted to do a lip sync to that song, Jolene.
Right.
Right. And I made Evan Lawrence Jolene. I brought a red wig for Evan. It was just so much fun. And we had Jack Tracy and Sean, some other people from the audience, come up and start flirting with Evan. Of course, I didn't tell him that ahead of time. But we have such a blast on stage. And then I got to do, for those of you who don't know, I wrote a book called She's the Last Model Standing. It's a memoir of my life in New York.
It's wonderful.
Freaking decades. Tim, thank you for saying that. Yeah. But I not only did a reading of my book, the coffee house I was at was celebrating Christmas in July. So I got to do all of those medleys that I wrote for the Imperial Court's Christmas in July. I got to do them again, it was a multimedia presentation. I love saying that. Right? Multimedia presentation. So
now also because last week we had Lube in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and then this past weekend we were in Boise, Idaho, doing 50 Shades of Gay with a stopover in Vegas. We were there for 24 hours and worked that city. We did business meetings plus hit the hotels, plus I had dinner with my dear friend Brittany Andrews, and
Brittany with the chihuahua.
And next week, with Bella, her dog Bella, who I absolutely love. And next week, I'm going to be in Florida with my cabaret show. So that's why my brain is kind of short-circuiting, because I've got so many shows in so many cities going on right now. But I love it. I'm grateful.
Your Florida show, but my brain isn't short-circuited. So for anyone who's watching, Tim's Florida show is in Fort Lauderdale. And can you give us the name of the venue?
Yeah, it's called The Pub. Well, they're changing it to Pub on the Drive. It's in Wilton Manors in Fort Lauderdale. And it's Saturday, August 13th at 7 p.m. It's my critically acclaimed cabaret show that I'm taking down there. And I would love anybody that's down there to come see it. If you know people that are down there, please tell them to come see it. There's no cover charge. It's free to go in. You just have some drinks or dinner or whatever. They serve food. And it's a wonderful place, wonderful venue.
Well, fantastic. So everybody write that down. So our guest today, my gosh, we're so excited to have him. I knew his name, but I first got to see him perform right here at PANGEA. And he just swept my heart away, ladies and gentlemen.
Right?
He did, First of all, he's handsome. He's a Brooklyn native. He's part Greek and part Irish. Ooh la la. And he's here to celebrate his new album, Through the Storms. And let me tell you, he takes you from love, loss, grief, and then finding that light at the end of the tunnel. Without further ado, I bring you Aris Ziagos. Thank you.
Have a video.
My name is Aris. I make really raw, emotionally vulnerable music. Songs about love, life, heartbreak, and loss, and healing. Get ready to feel something.
Hey, Tim.
Yay. How are you, my baby?
I'm great. So great to see you again.
It's so great to have Aris here today. And in his own words, get ready to feel something. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling it already.
I apologize I couldn't be there in person. I can only do so much, but I really wanted to be there to give you a big hug. I just adore you.
We got to clone you.
Yeah,
I've been saying this for a while. It's the only way now.
And I'm not hugging anybody these days. Don't take it personal. You know where it's coming from. Aris, thank you so much for being here. Very excited about your album, Through the Storms. If anybody can talk about storms, it's you.
Yeah.
You've been through it.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, we all go through it in our lives. I just may have had a few more things happen a lot sooner together than some people. And, the journey was both one of deep grief, but also great discovery. And,
grief and discovery at the same time. Before we even get into it, I love that you put those things together. I know a lot of people that are really stuck in their grief, 6, 7, 8 years. I have a friend who lost her mother that never unstuck from the grief.
Yep, that can be done.
Aris, to move on.
Wow. Well, the first grief that I needed to heal from was the loss of my mom, and that was at the end of 2012. Right in the middle of Hurricane Sandy. And it took many years for myself as well. I think the first thing that we do typically, unless we have a lot of support, is to run from it.
Right.
So you're trying to not feel it. You're going through a lot of distraction. You are not jumping right into the feelings of like, how do I process this loss? Because you don't want to accept it. Right. So,
and I'm thinking you were young. I mean, you are young, so you had to be young. This is a pivotal point.
That was 10 years ago. Yeah.
Pivotal point.
My parents had me a little bit later in life, so I was I was 30 when my mom passed away, which was technically pretty young. I mean,
young.
A lot of people
absolutely
until their grandparents themselves these days, but
right. But that alone, listen to that sentence that you just said. Like all of a sudden, you don't have that, and it is sudden. How do you prepare yourself?
I don't think you can adequately prepare. I mean, for my mom, she was. It wasn't a surprise. She was ill for a while, but it is always a surprise the moment of the day it happens. You never plan for the day and the time to that degree, especially not in the middle of a natural disaster. But
I can't.
It was many years of finding different things. And first of all, running away from it is a form of healing. If you need to distract yourself and soothe yourself, that's something you need to do. Writing music, starting to process the emotions. And there's songs on this new album, Through the Storms, that, I mean, it was 10 years ago, but I'm still giving this
Absolutely.
these emotions surface and finding a way to capture them. But it took a while to get to that point. And recording, playing live, also. And this might be something that could help not only the viewers but the friend that you mentioned. I took bereavement counseling, which I found extremely helpful.
I love hearing this.
And, long story short, for those who might not know what it is, and there's different denominations and forms of it, but you gather with a small group of people that have also lost someone, and through a period of, I don't know, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever the program is, you talk about it openly, you take away the stigma of that. You get used to talking about it and moving through it with this group of people who's also moving through
through the storm. They've all been through. I mean, the storm can be many things, but in that case, they've all been through the same kind of storm of loss.
Yeah, and it was very powerful. For me, that was just about 6 years in. So I was still looking for solutions at that point. And there were other things. And while I was in bereavement therapy, then my father actually passed away. So I was in the right place at the right time, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, the big arc of that, it took many things, many resources, and it's not the same thing for everyone.
Right.
So surround yourself with as many things, resources, tools as possible, and find what works for you.
Well, and you made it okay for yourself to do that. Some people, they run and hide and they don't deal with it.
And another thing is, just like you said, everybody has to deal with it differently. And one thing I always try to do is just be there for people, just allow them to, however they're getting through it, because and in a time like that, you don't want to hear, oh, they're in a better place. Oh, they're there. The sayings, I just let them talk, let them air what they're feeling, because everybody's journey is different to get through that. But Aris, that was about when your mother passed. It was shortly after that, I think, when we first met. I think I did my first interview. I've interviewed you a few times because I adore you. And you're
Tim Virgin here.
Oh, there's a lot of people that would say they're no Tim Virgin, but not for the same reason you just did.
And again, for those that are listening that don't know, you are a very accomplished singer-songwriter. You have several CDs out. How many have you released?
This is album 4. It's out right now. I'm working on 5 and 6.
So you're writing simultaneous albums. How do you do that?
Well, I record in a lot of different genres, different styles. Right. I don't hold myself back to dabble in that different sort of music. And I used to put out albums that were a combination of all those things in one place, but I try to be a little bit more thematically cohesive now. So, rock and soul album, dance album, they have a little bit of a little separation.
But the thing is, you have all these different genres, and your nationality, your background, right? Because our backgrounds contribute to who we are as people. I think it's great that you have all these dimensions to your music. How, right, Tim?
That's so
a lot
rare.
Of people do that, right?
It's so rare to find an artist that has that flexibility and that range.
I really appreciate that. I would just encourage all artists, don't get stuck in one spot.
Right.
A lot of times we create a character, a persona, or we get a groove,
a comfort zone.
Exactly.
It's a comfort zone.
Yes. It's great, but it doesn't mean that we're not capable of more. And I love personally being challenged, and that's why I continue to record music that's different, or go deeper into more vocal work that's a little bit more complicated. That's why I'm studying Aretha Franklin's catalog and trying to sing it. It's not because I don't like a challenge.
Love it.
Yeah, but for every artist, we can always find a deeper pool by just, challenging what we have come to expect as our norm or what our comfort zone is. And just do different things, and collaboration, I believe, is one of the best ways to do that.
And that's interesting. Let's talk about your collaboration.
We'll get into all of your collaborations as we go along, but I was hoping to kind of rewind and find out your evolution. So you're from Brooklyn originally.
Born and raised.
Brooklyn native, Bayside,
and
Bay Ridge.
And tell us a little bit about now Bay Ridge. That's a lot of Italian there, right?
Yeah, it's very old world. It still is to this day. It's
Still
been a little gentrified. But yeah, a lot of Italian, Irish American, Greek American communities that now have blossomed, and now it's a lot more culturally diverse. But that was the backbone of what I grew up in and around. Very much water.
There's a lot of water.
My husband who does our lighting here, Alan, is from Bensonhurst.
Well,
there's a water.
Bensonhurst,
yeah,
just across the pond.
But tell us a little bit about your parents and your upbringing.
Sure. My father's a Greek immigrant. So
wow.
So you're first generation.
Yes, first
wow.
generation. And my mother was an American Irish belly dancer, actually. Well, in time she became that, but
Irish belly dancer. I love that.
Yeah,
I did too.
And it was a love that she found very kind of through her passion of freedom and exploration of culture and music, which clearly
she was
to me.
So she was very free spirited.
Yeah.
Free spirited for sure. She
and you think, the music came from mom.
Oh, well, I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 85% mom and 15% dad. She grew up an army brat, so very much in an institution, and then fought against that and rebelled and left home very early on in her late teens, and then decided, as someone from the Midwest, I'm going to start belly dancing in these Middle Eastern clubs. I'm going to teach myself how to dance. I'm going to teach myself how to sew. I'm going to teach myself how to speak Greek fluently. So yes, I grew up after my mom had retired from belly dancing. She had me, but I grew up with these photos, seeing these photos of her performing.
She's a star, yeah.
And it definitely inspired me as I went on. And I would say that's where my parents met. Was at one of my mother's belly dancing shows. So if not for music and belly dancing, I'd be not here right now. I would be in the ether or wherever that happens.
But you came out singing, it sounds like.
Something like that, yeah.
When did you find your passion for music? For saying,
because music, for sure.
Well, one of the things is you have not an unusual, but you have a unique sound and unique style.
Definitely.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I would say from a very early age, I loved music. I would be the child that was dancing to the radio, very obsessed with Madonna from diapers, basically.
Yeah, I love it.
And but that didn't necessarily mean that I found my own musical inspiration until my teens. It was Paula Cole's album "This Fire," which did it for me.
And she is "Where Have All the I love that song. Where Have All the Cowboys Gone?
That's also on that album. And I was really inspired by the Lilith Fair movement in the 90s. I was in my early teens, and I was feeling emotions more deeply. I was writing a lot of poetry, and those poems slowly took on rhythmic tones.
Oh my gosh! So it started with poetry.
Absolutely.
I love that evolution.
Yeah, right.
And it was Paula Cole's "This Fire" where I listened to it, and I was like, I want to do this. I want to make music that's vulnerable and raw and real. And that album she produced in her bedroom, and I wanted to be able to do that and to put it out and connect with people. And here we are.
And here we are. So you at that time at your teens were you were in high school, Catholic school. What kind of?
I grew up in between kindergarten and 8th grade was in a Greek Orthodox school.
I knew. I'd see. I could get that. I know. No, I got that. I was like, I knew it was, but I knew it was in there. Right.
And then I went on to public high school.
Okay, so you could maybe blossom,
absolutely.
Right. I got the Greek Orthodox thing. It's huge.
Yeah, from like a school of 150 people to a school of 4,500. Absolutely, yeah. And
I can relate to that too.
Right, and that culture shock. You're like, oh, other people. Could be different.
Right. Great. Well, and Greek Orthodox,
not knowing anybody, and that's
Greek Orthodox is such a cultural. It's a very set kind of world.
Absolutely.
And you're probably very worldly because of an Irish mom, and you branched out when you got into public high school.
Yeah, and not to speak too disparagingly about the Greek Orthodox school experience, but what I found because of that very nationalistic approach to identity, I was only half Greek, and even that was like I was like an outsider. And I was artistic.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So like I didn't play basketball,
right.
and I wasn't all Greek, and I lived in an apartment, not a house. It was like wow. And so they didn't know what to do with me. But so that evolution with like really feeling like where am I, who am I, and then being able to really find myself, which laid the groundwork for I hope a successful adulthood. Right. Still working on adulting, still working on it, but
it's okay. You have to achieve it.
Hopefully, one of these days we'll all grow up, or not.
Oh God,
or not. I'm buying the or not, Tim. I like the or not. So, what were some of your first projects that you worked on when you realized that you could sing and you could write?
Well, I have a whole before release little career where I was making music but not actually releasing the recordings. My first performance was at Stonewall back in 2003, 2002, 2003. Like 2 or 3 of them happened around that time. And me and a group of friends were working on a sketch comedy, and I was trying to figure out how to be funny and be serious at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was a different world. Now you can have different streams.
What was the name
different
of your group?
things.
Well, 2000.
It's Twisted Television. But
nice.
Back then, 2003 attention span. You did one thing at a time. You didn't do 20 things.
Right. Well, actually, 2003. That was shortly after 9/11.
Yeah.
So the world was shifting. It was changing. It was
And we weren't really big into social media then.
No, I mean, people were on the internet, but we weren't sharing as much as we were.
I was going to Stonewall then, though. That's why I asked you what the name of your group was, because I was also in sketch comedy.
And it was when they had that little room on the side, too, the red room. I don't know if y'all remember that, where the piano lounge was.
Yes.
Oh,
boy, it's not there anymore.
But myself here for sure. So there was that period of time where many years I was just recording but not releasing. And I pushed music a little bit to the side, trying to find my voice. I don't really know if I found it at that time, but I worked on comedy, and I was so grateful for that time because it kind of it opened my spirit. It made me be able to talk and engage with people, and to be a better performer live, especially with being able to talk on stage or improvise, or you use the lyric, you pick people up and make them laugh another way, and that's a whole different skill set that this shy little kid from Brooklyn did not have before.
But it's a skill set that helps you now when you're dealing with an audience. My God,
but also the improv too. That pushes you to take chances and be daring. That really opens up a whole other part of your soul too.
And collaborate, I believe. It's probably where my love for collaboration started, because I surrounded myself by so many amazing, talented, funny people, and it was like, wow, I get to collaborate with these people all the time now and make magic.
And now I was going to say earlier, I mean, who imagined that listening to Paula Cole?
Yeah, really.
Listening to Paula Cole, and then you would be collaborating.
Yeah.
What was that
full circle moment.
I love that too. How did you I would say it. How did you get the balls to reach out to Paula Cole?
Well,
how did you do that?
It's a long love affair, clearly.
Yeah.
And many years into her career, when she came back from a little hiatus, I was going to her shows and would do the meet and greets, and became a little bit familiar with her in terms of she would recognize me. She went independent at some point, and she did Kickstarter for one of her albums. And my mother surprised me with this amazing opportunity to sing live with her, basically over dinner one night. She's like, well, what would you say to singing live with Paula Cole? And I was like, that's unbelievable. And she's like, well, it's happening. And literally,
through a Kickstarter?
Through a Kickstarter.
Oh my God, I love this story.
Unreal,
right?
And
and your mom did this.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, she passed away. So sadly, it was literally like 2.5 weeks, and Paula started reaching out to me to perform. And I was like, Paula, here's what it is. This is so much right now. I can't and she was so loving, supportive, kind, patient, wonderful, to understand where I was with the situation, to be a supportive ear for the loss of my mom, and also to slowly pull me into a space where I'd be ready to perform live with her. And the way things work out is very much serendipity. We performed together at a church in New Jersey, and she asked me pretty much moments before the performance to do a eulogy for my mother before
Oh my
the song.
gosh.
So it was this very, very transcendent experience.
Wow.
And in the history of this live concert series, they never let anyone record the shows before. And they made one exception. And it was for that one song. So I get to share it with all of y'all. And that's that clip that you saw earlier with me and Paula.
Yeah.
So that, my God, the backstory behind that clip.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you. It really, really incredible. Wow.
Oh my God. But I love the growth, the evolution, both in life, in soul, in spirit, in music, in poetry, and because you have just such a wonderful way of observing life and observing your emotions and your feelings, which again, people have trouble dissecting or accepting what they're going through internally, and you have a way of observing and feeling those feelings and putting them to in art, in your music and your words.
Thank you. It is therapy for me. So
you work through it.
Yeah,
you work through it.
I use my music often as a space to release these deep feelings, and I'm grateful that I have that space. Not everyone has that. Not everyone has a place where they can put that.
People get blocked too. You're able to take what you're feeling, no matter what it is, and put it into your music.
And sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it's more intimate, but I think that it's a safer space to do it sometimes than in your own head or in a therapist's office, which you have to pay to be there. And then they're like, are they paying attention to me? What are they writing? At least I know what I'm writing. I can look at it.
They don't really care what I'm feeling.
To-do list for that day. Laundry.
Yes, keep going, Aris.
But also without that outlet, for people who cannot identify what they're going through and what they're feeling, and like Wendy was saying earlier, many have a tendency of just staying there and not moving on. They can't release it. They can't move on. They can't analyze it and continue. Again, everybody's different. Everybody is different. So I'm so happy and so proud of you with who you are, who you'll become, and who you're becoming. You will continue to evolve and continue to grow.
I love the fact the different types of people you collaborate with.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Colby Cole.
Colby.
You can't talk about PANGEA without talking about Colby Cole.
Love. I was so. I mean, what?
Aviva.
One night he drank, and you were there that night. Maybe. He must have said Aviva probably 20 times.
It's a great name.
It is. It's a great name when you've had a few. Aviva, Aviva, Aviva. He's what I call Colby an instrument. It's so far beyond even a voice. It's an unreal instrument. How has he influenced you?
Oh my goodness. I think I know Colby is one of the greatest soul singers living right now.
Thank you for saying that. I agree.
I say it as much as I can say it so other people will hear and then listen. And that's either live or on recording, but especially if you can see him live, absolutely do it. We met maybe 2015, and it was at Stonewall because of the Chauncey's Madonna worship.
Chauncey, a round of applause for Chauncey.
Chauncey brings people together.
Incredible. Our producer, also a wonderful performer.
And DJ. Has
a song out now called Disco Brothers. You know what you're talking about? You're talking about community that lifts each other up.
Absolutely.
So this happened through Colby. Wow.
Yes. And, when we met, Colby was so encouraging and warm, and we kept in touch. And I asked him if he wanted to do a song together, and I played him some early recordings from Through the Storms, my new album, and he fell in love with the title, the first track, the opening track, Become Love. So we did it. We became love together. And
I love that.
I love him so much. He's inspired me to sing more, show up more, be more seen in this community, because for a while I was just a recluse. I just recorded and put it in the vault, and then but just to be welcomed into such an awesome night.
This is a huge his show Nouveau Riche here, who's there every month. But this is news to me that you were reclusive, and that Colby was the inspiration behind you getting up there and singing.
I think I for a while didn't know if people got me, and what was. heralded in the scene for a while. Maybe wasn't necessarily a grungy rocker with the raspy voice. You know, it was like, yeah, I kind of get what you're doing, but people they were like, you're not gay enough. Be gayer. And I'm like, I sleep with a lot of men. It's pretty gay.
That's a t-shirt. You can order them right here on the show. Yes, we're going to do e-commerce. I love that.
I have the monkeypox vaccine.
Right. Fully vaccinated and here for your taking pleasure.
Oh my God, so if these walls could talk indeed. Yeah, but I wasn't sure and he saw me in a way where I felt like, okay, I get it now. I can be here and be myself, and it's okay to open up and connect with people. And
but what's it?
And also go down different hallways. Go try different things. And because I've always found you to have such a unique voice and presentation, and Kobe equally has such a unique voice with that stratospheric sound, and to combine the two of you is just an explosion. You know,
it's a joy too for us. Like we actually really enjoy each other and singing together, and we've done it on the recording at Become Love, which is the first single from the album, but also live a bunch of times at PANGEA. So we take requests, we'll do it eventually.
Yeah,
we just did a House of the Rising Sun cover, which was
that was great.
You know, because we both love it so much, I think that comes across when you hear the music, and it just resonates in a way where it's more celebratory.
Well, actually, I believe we have. Firstly, you're watching If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts, Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss, and our amazing guest. I see Prince Aris Ziagos. I've just always known you as Aris.
Who told I'm a prince now?
Yes, it probably is. So many magical things happen with technology on our show. So sometimes there's pronouns. Sometimes someone becomes.
I just noticed that.
I believe. Actually, Prince was our guest last week, so maybe it's left over from there.
Right. But, you're not a prince anymore.
But I believe we have a video of your collaboration with Kobe and I think maybe Paula Cole. I think.
Maybe a singing at PANGEA and then probably Become Love. I think.
Okay, let's try that. Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the video.
My name is Aris. I make really raw, emotionally vulnerable music. Songs about love, life.
It's true, I do. I do those things.
Love the way you love me and you love me all night long. Love's a new religion sent from heaven way above. Love become a mountain and a mountain become love. Love become a mountain and a mountain become love. Love become a mountain and a mountain become love. Love become a mountain and a mountain become love. Love become a mountain and a mountain become love.
Technology.
Me and Kobe.
Don't we just love technology? She never know what's going to happen. What is the name of the song that you just did with Kobe again? What's it called?
Become Love.
Become Love, and that is out as a single, and also we have a remix single that's coming out next month with 4 awesome remixes.
I love it. So, you know, and I ask a lot of singer-songwriters this, and I've asked Chauncey this too. all of you guys are so talented. How do you get the clubs to play these songs? You do the dance remixes, right? So you're giving it. How do you get them to play?
I would say sleep with the DJ.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it in a more diplomatic way. I was going to say through personal relationships, right? But Tim said it.
Tim will always hit the nail on the head.
You gotta lubricate the wheel to get the song.
Oh, there you go, Tim. You can use that one.
So it's through those personal relationships, it's people who appreciate the music, and I've been grateful for even some remixers who've approached me that already have a scene or a night. Morrissey is one of those people. We're working on some tracks right now. He does a couple wonderful nights around town, so you should go check those out.
What are those? Tell us what the name of the nights are.
Mr. Purple, he's there, and you're gonna put me on the spot. I might have to.
No, I always try and plug the people
Morrissey music. Morrissey music. There's links at that.
I didn't even know about this.
Prince Morrissey, because we're all princes today.
I'm a princess always.
But if it said Princess Aris, that would have been really fun too.
He meant me.
But now, also on this CD, you have different. You have some other collaborations like Aaron Lee Tezjan, Janine Tirana, that were from New York but are now in Nashville, which I would like to touch on, and also Vincent DiGeronimo. So tell us a little bit about them and your collaboration with them, and also going from New York to Nashville in your experience. So there's a lot of questions in there.
Yeah, but I can do it.
We got a lot of time, Tim.
Aaron Lee Tezjan, fantastic singer-songwriter, guitarist. People know him. He used to tour with Semi Precious Weapons, Justin Tranter's band that toured with Lady Gaga under Monster Ball. Me and Aaron know each other from the New York scene for many years. He produced some tracks on my album Twilight Revival, which Tim, you know me from. Yeah. And we had some tracks in the vault, so I revived one of them for this album. He has a fantastic career right now, performing all over. He's very much Americana and roots, deep singer-songwriter vibe, and that journey from New York to Nashville is one that also is reflected from Janine Tirana, who's a fantastic singer-songwriter. I know her from my comedy days with ITTV.
You see that? Wow.
Full circle again.
Yeah.
Nice. The both of them are just tearing up that scene, and it's a scene that, much like we're talking about community here, but that singer-songwriter scene in Nashville and the way they just the singer-songwriter circle where everyone gets together and shares music and they lift each other up. It's just such
not only the creative process, it's unreal. Like how incredible.
And also, I know a couple of friends of mine from Los Angeles that are singer-songwriters that moved to Nashville. There just seems to be this
community
into Nashville especially for singer-songwriters right now.
Absolutely.
Very interesting.
I don't know if you ever saw the show Nashville, that soap on ABC, but that's why I would move there, because it looked saucy. No, I
drama.
No, I like good music and I like good TV, and apparently both things are produced there.
You go.
So there you go.
Yeah.
See you
soon. York, we need you here
just for a visit,
Yeah. Now tell us a little bit about Vincent.
Vincent also performs sometimes at Stonewall. Chauncey knows Vincent. I've known Vincent for a long time. We know each other. Here's another full circle thing through Paula Cole. He's a huge Paula Cole fan, and for many years we knew of each other. But then about 10 years ago, around the time me and Paula started being in touch, she asked me, she said, "Do you know Vincent?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You need to be friends with Vincent. The two of you need to be friends. And when Miss Paula Cole tells you to do something, you do it." Yeah. So we did. We listened. We heeded that advice, and we've collaborated a bunch live. And then we did this recording on this album, which is called Missing. And our inspiration was the loss of my mother and the loss of his father. And we traded off these verses about what it feels like to grieve and to miss someone, and then to go through the journey of healing. So that's one of my favorites on the album.
And using your music to do it.
Yeah, and that's one of what I mean by just being able to interpret what you're feeling,
right?
The feeling of loss that you're feeling, and him being able to do the same thing of sharing his feelings of loss. And that's so powerful. That is just so incredibly powerful, because it's something that everybody can relate to. Everybody knows those feelings, unfortunately.
sadly, we will all go through it at some point
Absolutely.
in life. We lose something or someone that's very dear to us.
What I love about you, and Tim will back me up on this, there's no pretense, there's no wall up. You can freely come on here and talk about this. You will share those feelings. It's not, I've seen, there's a lot of performers on the scene right now, and you see them they try and be sexy, they try and be emotional. They're not even in touch with any aspect of their vulnerability. So how can they be any of those things? And it shows in your stage performance.
Yeah.
It's because like my whole goal for this and putting myself out there was to utilize my experiences and the things that I've gone through to help others. And if I'm not being honest about what it is, if I'm not telling you why those songs are written, if I'm not sharing what's inside my heart and how I've gotten through it, there's no point, because then it's not going to reach you like it needs to. So it's been a journey to strip it back for sure. And, you know, there's been times in the past where I was more reclusive regarded, but happiness came through acceptance and just being honest.
Happiness through acceptance and honesty, right?
And giving other people the ability to feel vulnerable too, and to talk about those things without their own guard. And we should all have that destigmatized. We should all be able to be vulnerable and to be sad and go through it and then come out the other side and be supported, you know?
Because what I'm hearing here, the word that keeps popping up that I'm from inside me, that I'm hearing from you, is authenticity.
Yeah.
You have learned to be authentically Aris.
Right.
When you step on that stage, like she said, there's no pretension. You're just being yourself. You're bearing your soul. You're just giving what you can, being who you are. And I am so grateful for that. I love that.
You know what, Tim? That's all any of us have, honestly, at the end of the day. Certainly in a business, and I was going to ask you this, you know, Aris has such a range, right? I'm sure there are people that gave you this direction, that you can't have that you need to do one thing, that you need to be one note. Tim, I'm sure you've gotten it. I've gotten it. And it's having the ability to know that, like, la, 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 I'm not listening to that. That's not right. You have to be deep enough in yourself and connected to yourself to know that that's misdirection.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, if you trust who it's coming from and they're telling you to refine, you know, there's certain things you can still pick up.
Right.
But if you just feel things bursting out from in you, you just got to let it out. You can't change it or make it something else.
Yeah.
And, you know, through that process and through being real and confronting that, you do actually win people over, because they're like, oh, I get it now.
Right.
People don't know it until they see it or hear it sometimes.
Yeah,
you
right.
talk about it, they're like, I'm not sure. And then you show it to them, they're like, okay.
Yeah.
So you have
I never really paid that close of attention, never really understood or got into grunge until I met you. back in the day, and I was like, oh my God, this
wait, I can't imagine Tim Moss is the grunge. You grunge queen, you, Tim Moss.
But my second part of the question, your tats. Tell us about your tats there. Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
There's one over here too.
There's a bunch going on. You know,
but this one right here, that's the one I was looking at.
This hurt a lot. This is painful.
I would imagine.
Don't sign up for a chest tattoo unless you're ready for the pain. That would be my,
because there's no skin there on, you know, it's like
especially on me. It's
thin
bone
part.
Right there.
It's, you know.
Each big tattoo kind of symbolized a change or a chapter ending and beginning. So this one was all about rebirth. It's a phoenix, and this
rising up from the ashes,
symbol for longevity. So it was a time in my life when I needed to be reminded every day by something right in front of my face that I could do. And it was a transformation, a physical transformation to carry me through a time that I needed my outside to match my inside. You know, luckily I like it still.
Love it.
What about this little one right over
here? Like
Om, which is a universal sound,
yeah, and I've got a whole bunch down my back that we can't show you because it's
it's like a book back there. Read it.
Yeah, for real.
Right.
I love it. Now, Forever in a Day. I want to talk about Forever in a Day, hopefully without crying, but we lost our dear friend, Sir Ari Gold, who was an amazing force in the LGBT pop music. He paved the way and was a trailblazer for so many of us artists that are following in his path. Now, I believe we have a video of Forever and a Day, and you collaborated with Ari on that. Can you tell us a little bit about that before we see the video?
Absolutely. Ari and I were in each other's stratosphere, in each other's social circles for years, but not really super close, but always ended up booked on the same stage. And you were one of those people, if you remember, it was at the Gay Expo at the showcasing of the music videos. We were just like one off from each other. So that kept right.
Yeah.
And then we ended up doing this talk show together called Talking About, where the host, one of the hosts was out sick, and the other host asked us to interview each other.
Oh, sweet.
From that point on, that we were like, you know, we feel like universe is telling us there's something here to kind of explore it. And we became friends, and very vulnerable friends. We shared a lot of openness and stories about what we were going through, and it led to this collaboration of the song Forever and a Day, which is this beautiful ballad, which starts out with a voice recording from Ari and me. It wasn't originally supposed to be that, but after his passing, I just needed his voice in it more. And
yes.
And yeah, we recorded it in 2018 and 2019 with the intention of putting it in at the end of 2020, and then life became life that we knew it. The pandemic and also his own health took a turn for the worse. And he fought really, really hard.
Yes, he did.
And I'm just so grateful that we were able to complete it, and that there is this beautiful, vulnerable recording of him where
left behind.
He shares this message of hope for his fans, and I was able to help make that happen. And what a blessing and a gift to be able to sing with Ari. I love him dearly. He also, much like Kobe, helped give me my wings and taught me how to be brave again, because I had forgotten. And we're listening to the track with the animated video from the cover, and we're working on a little video for this summer. It's not out yet.
Well, let's take a look at Forever and a Day with Ari Gold and Aris.
Forever and a day, we'll find a way. We'll find a way. Forever and a day, forever and a day, forever and a day. I know I'm gonna find my love, 'cause I would fight for my love, I would die for my love, and I've waited for your love. I'm gonna find your love forever and a day. Finally into the light, we'll all be free forever and a day. Tenderly love finds a way to carry me. I know if I find the answer, I know if I know where to climb. Take a chance, yeah, it'll come, give it time. It'll keep working and praying, keep patiently waiting, keep giving and learning, keep living and yearning, keep steady and riding. We'll get through the fight and we'll get to present. Won't stop, we'll stay forever and a day. Forever and a day. Forever and a day. Forever and a day. We'll find a way. Forever and a day. We'll find a way. Forever and a day. Forever and a day. Forever and a day. Forever and a day. We'll find a day. Love will find a way. Forever and a day. Love will find a way. Forever and a day.
Boy, that was beautiful.
That
was
oh my
beautiful.
God. That is so beautiful hearing his voice. Oh my God, it really did a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
For him. So
I'm trying not to get emotional myself.
But I said, Tim, that was meant to be. That
absolutely.
Aris was the last person he recorded with. That union was meant to be. They were brought together. Again, music doing what it's a live thing. Music, it can bring people together. It's an organic thing.
Universal healer.
Yep,
for sure.
Universal healer.
Absolutely. And again, like the Vincent DiGeronimo song "Missing," I'm sure that Ari is now included in that mixture as well.
Absolutely. And to be able to share this album with so many amazing, incredible, talented people that are being vulnerable and sharing their incredible voice and spirit. I mean, this has been a dream. It really has been a dream.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So happy. And again, so proud of you. I'm always saying that, but I am always so proud of you.
So I have a question. This thing we call the pandemic, when they shut down New York, March 12th, I personally felt like I was gutted. Like I can deal with anything and have, I've worked all over the world. All of a sudden,
as long as Wendy can get around and go places and do things, she's good.
And then all of a sudden, I didn't understand something much bigger than me, bringing me to a halting, crashing stop. What did you do? What were you feeling?
It's a weird experience because right at the beginning, I was still in a relationship with a partner that I was with for about 4 years. And we kind of were listening to the news and we were preparing for it before it really hit here. We weren't really surprised. And we had the luxury of not working and being able to be in a bubble. So at the beginning, aside from the actual tragedy of what happened, I was like, wow, time off, time to spend together, time to be at home, time to catch up on all those creative things that I've been putting off. Wow, amazing. And then life was like, oh, no. There's some growth that has to happen here. And in that time off, the relationship imploded. So I felt
it's a test. It was a test of relationship.
It was a massive test for everybody.
Relationship ending and then trying to figure out how to rebound or recover after that.
In the middle of all of this, right?
Wow.
Can't go to coffee shops, can't go out and hang out with friends. Dating. What's that? Oh, now
right.
Everything was so challenging. So it just was luckily a wonderful time to double back and to focus on creativity.
You were able to.
Technology, getting to do this, finding ways to use computers to reach out and connect with people, and using that same time and technology to even collaborate when we couldn't be in the same room.
Right.
A few of those collaborations on the album happened that way. So it was challenging, but also I'm grateful for that period of time to really look at everything that I was doing and evaluate, was it working and what needs to change going forward? And we all got that gift, luckily.
Well, but a lot of people were creatively stopped during that period. This pandemic thing became
especially
right.
But
their creativity was stopped. You're right. All of a sudden you have all this time, you can write songs. There's a million things you can do, but they were so overwhelmed by it. They couldn't do anything at all.
Yeah.
For me, I was so angered by it. I turned into a creativity machine and had to completely reinvent my life. At one point, it wasn't even me doing it. I have no idea how I evolved to what happened and where I am now.
It was a catalyst.
It was a catalyst, right? It was unacceptable to me.
I think for me, one of the worst things was the not having live applause. That was one of the things that just killed me. Was not being able to perform before audiences or groups of people and hearing that applause. That I'll never forget the first time back and hearing applause. It was I lost my shit. I cried.
Wow.
But we made it through. We did what we had to do.
Right.
Back. We did it. We're back.
We're doing it. We're here.
Yeah.
Through the storms.
We've
It goes back to through the storms. We've got comments.
Yes, we've got a few comments. Twyla Childress from Indiana, she put a heart, so she sends love. Teresa Saban says huge applause. She said, commented, and she says, I love his hair.
Got good hair.
Wonderful story. Scooter Pie says hello, love you. Joe Preston says Kobe and Aris equals dynamic duo. I agree.
And I don't know who Facebook user is. They wanted
I think that's Teresa.
Is it?
Stand up and
show us, please.
I'm not sure what they're trying to get us to show.
It's those back tattoos. You girl, you're bad.
Wow.
Thank you all for your comments. We always
Yes.
appreciate them. I have a question. You also have a podcast.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about that.
Me too. Over the course of the recording of the album, I realized there was just more stories than could be told in than just these songs, and then just talking about the songs on other people's podcasts. Although I love it, clearly it's awesome, but I wanted to dig in deeper with my collaborators and find out what made them tick, talk about their inspirations, and then our creative process and what led us together. So it's named the same thing as the album, Through the Storms, and you'll see episodes with Janine Tirana, Kobe Cole, Vincent DiGeronimo, and then there's the one with Ari that I'm working on that should be out.
Oh my gosh.
Probably in September.
Oh wow. Nice.
Throughthestorms.info or on YouTube or on my website, which I guess we're in the drop stuff comment section.
Yep.
www.aris.fm. Look at that.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Timing.
Yeah, that's he's on it.
It's Aris.fm. ARIS.fm. Yep. You can go there to find out everything Aris.
Everyone wanted to know about Aris, but we're afraid to ask. So I'm not afraid to ask this next question, even though we're at the end. But I have to know, like, you're like a perfect guy. Are you dating anyone? Everything about you is perfect. You're emotional. You look great. You're a good package.
You got it going on.
Right. He's right, Tim. You're a good package. Are you dating anyone?
All right. So I'm going to give an answer that's going to be a little like,
it's fine.
It's going to sound like like a very diplomatic. We'll say it's diplomatic. I'm focusing on myself right now because I need to figure out how to date myself and do me right. And I have a lot of focus on work right now, and I don't want to. It's not time yet, and I haven't met the right person yet for a different time. So, but that being said, I am single, and you can contact me on www.aris.fm, where you can find everything you need to know about me. Not everything.
One thing I want to know about, turn your head, because I got my hair in a ponytail. Turn your head. You cut your hair? You cut your hair because you used to have like shoulder length and for many years. How was that?
I don't know. I'm tired of melting all the time. So this is like better.
Yeah. And it looks great. It's a great haircut too.
It works perfect on you. Yeah.
Aris, do you plan on going forward? I know a lot of performers that are on as many stages as they can possibly get. My God, you've got so many recordings and everything that you've worked on. Do you plan on doing more live stage?
Absolutely. First thing you can catch me at, actually, here's a plug, August 16th at this very fine establishment, Pangea, for Kobe's Nouveau Riche showcase. I'll be here. I'll be performing a song or two. Stay tuned. I am working on new music and new collaborations. So as those drop, I expect to be dropping myself around town to promote them.
Great.
And we'll be back at Pangea talking about a January show here.
Oh, so you'll have your own show here. Oh, in January. January is my birthday month.
Mine too. January 9th, baby.
January 15th.
January is going to be busy this year.
I hope in 2023 as well to get the music on the road a bit more, get down to Nashville, get down to some other cities.
Absolutely.
To share the wonderful goodness live.
Right. Yeah, we want to share you live too. Why should we just keep you here in New York? You know, we want to get you everywhere. You know, you got a lot to bring to the party.
All right.
Absolutely.
Bring it.
Now, one last, we just had a message come in from Pinecone Bliss. Says, aloha, Tim. Keep on, keep on. You are such an inspiration. Love you, miss you, appreciate you, Wendy. Appreciate your energy and perspective, and thank you for sharing your creative process, Aris.
Pinecone Bliss. First of all, I love that name. That's great. My God, thank you so much.
Thanks, Pinecone Bliss.
Yes, I love that. Well, so what do you have any dates or anything coming? Not dates, but any performance dates?
You know, you were asking about the regular dates.
Well, I'm usually off on Fridays and Mondays, so I'm trying to kind of stack things like coffee dates or brunches in those times. But you know,
and Italian dinners are on the plate too.
You know, I will say that next month, "Become Love" remix single will be out. So I will be posting a lot about that when it happens.
Good.
And stay tuned. The rest will be on the social medias. You can follow me on all the places that you expect. Aside from OnlyFans, I don't do that yet. I actually was thinking about doing an OnlyFans, but filming fans, like, you know, circulating fans, like air conditioning.
Yes. Oh my God, no, that is... You just gave me a great idea for a sketch. I will credit you when I write it. No, that's like...
It's got to be someone...
You're doing sketch comedy, or you're planning on some getting back into that, which I love too.
Thank you for that segue. Right. We are bringing back the sketch comedy to celebrate our 20th year since creation, if you can believe it, because I was one apparently when we started. No. And that will be, we're going to start dropping stuff in the fall, and you'll be able to find that on www.itstwisted.tv or on YouTube or on my social media. And stay tuned, maybe somewhere else good on your network television.
Yes, absolutely.
I love it. So again, go to aris.fm for everything Aris. And thank you again for coming on and just sharing your life and your love and your heart and your soul.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Gorgeous to see you, if only in a very tiny little box.
But listen, I think Tim, how I can get him these days. You know, I can't get him live. I'll take him on Memorex. No.
I can't wait till the next time I see you and just give you a big hug. I just absolutely love and adore you. And again, so proud of you for just being authentic and just remain open and allowing your truth to flow forth effortlessly.
Shine through. Let your truth shine through. Thank you so much, Aris. And thank you everybody who tuned in today, and have a good day. Stay cool.
Yeah.